African Americans built this nation. You built this nation. You know, you're just starting to get real credit for that. Okay, I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to get, you built the nation. You were such a massive part of it. Bigger than you were given credit for. Does that make sense? Right?
Who that is?
Chesley Major. Chesley Major.
Chesley Major. Chesley Major.
Chesley Major. Chesley Major.
Peace and blessings goes out to the fam. What's going on, everybody? Hope all is well. Today, I got some clips, a collage of videos that I put together, and it's all about what white folks think about Black Americans, our culture, and our achievements, and what we bring to the table when it comes to the United States of America. Brought to you by good old white folks. White folks got some choice words. They want to let you know how they feel and what they think about Black Americans living in the United States. Foundational Black Americans built this country. There are many contributions that contribute to the greatness of the United States by the hands of foundational Black Americans. Yeah, that's right, FBA. The people who have blood in this soil and are the true builders of this nation have been here for over 400 years. But I ain't gonna hold you. We're gonna dive into it because I like to hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
Right, racists, let's talk about the truth. There is so much discourse lately about who is native and who is indigenous, and even the nerve to bring up who is the architect of soul food. And what everyone needs to understand is that Black people are the earth.
There's nobody else like that. There's nobody else like that.
African Americans built this nation. You built this nation. You know, you're just starting to get real credit for that. Okay, I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to get, you built the nation. We all built it, but you were such a massive part of it. Bigger than you were given credit for. Does that make sense? Right? But through generations of blood, sweat, and tears, and you deserve a government that defends your interests, protects your families, and cares for our own citizens first. My administration is fighting with everyone and all our heart to reverse the pain inflicted by Democrat leaders and to deliver hope and opportunity and prosperity for all Americans, but for African American communities all throughout our land.
If we know anything about history, we know that it took a long time for there to be actual freedom in terms of things like civil rights, and that we are still fighting an oppressive white supremacist system of government, and there are many ways in which many people are still enslaved to that system.
You know, there's nobody else like that. There's nobody else like that in the world.
A lot of people talk about how Black people have an outsized impact on culture. I would argue that they are American culture, right? Every good part of American culture comes originally from Black people. Our economic foundation, if you read The Half Has Never Been Told by Edward Baptiste, it talks about how in the 1800s and the 1900s, we really, really benefited from heavily subsidized, essentially free labor, right? Slavery's impact cannot be understated in our ability to grow this nation at such a rapid rate. We owe them everything, right? And from slavery, from that, comes all of the modern music we love, right? The blues, jazz, all born out of a time when Black people had no hope for the future, right? So they would sing. And all of that became the music that is loved internationally. If you go anywhere in the world, the American music that people are listening to all comes from Black people. I really want people to think long and hard about where this country would be without Black people. Essentially nowhere. Right? We definitely wouldn't be cool, right? You wouldn't be able to go to a cafe in Amsterdam or a nightclub in Bangkok and listen to things that are familiar to you. All of that is due to black people.
There's nobody else like that. There's nobody else like that in the world.
People who built America, I don't care what Colombian college player John Leguizamo says. We built America, right? It was our ingenuity that made everything about this country even better, if not greater. I know you don't want to believe it, but we made America great first. I know America. I know it. I love it. Black people, we did it. Sometimes y'all get caught up on that, so I just did that to trigger you. But no, in all seriousness, we have to remember it's not about how well you do in school. It's how well you do in society and how well you score at the bank.
Our world would suck without the amazing contributions of black Americans. Let's give a nod to the brilliant Patricia Bath, a proud Howard University grad who pioneered laser cataract surgery and became the first black American female to receive a medical patent. We owe a big debt of gratitude to Dr. Shirley Ann Jackson, whose research enabled the invention of the portable fax machine, the touch-tone telephone, fiber optic cables, call waiting, and caller ID. She was also the first black American woman to earn her PhD from MIT. And Mark Hanna blew our minds because his programs created the special effects for movies like Jurassic Park, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and so many more. Dr. Betty Harris created spot tests to identify explosives in the field. Boom. Let's show some love to Paul Williams because he had sky-high aspirations because his work helped lead to the first prototype of the helicopter for the Navy in World War II. Richard Spikes was smooth as glass when he created and patented the first automatic gear shift transmission in 1932. And I'll say this 1,000 more times. Black history is American history.
From Sojourner Truth, a tireless fighter for justice whose last name was her legacy, to Elijah McCoy, the engineer who revolutionized the railroad industry in the late 19th century, led the way in art and culture, industry, science, politics, music, and so much more. Black Michiganders put the world on wheels, fought to save democracy, and marched down Woodward with Dr. King in 1963. People throughout our history who came together to stand up for what's right and to fight for a more prosperous and just Michigan. From stops on the Underground Railroad to the house in Motown where Berry Gordy changed music forever. Recognize its significance in all of our history.
I think the black community proffered more when we were Republicans. And don't argue with me, argue with your mama. If you didn't notice, it wasn't till the 1960 election that black people started to actually turn and vote more for the Democrat Party. And that was in support of JFK. And if you think I'm lying, go to any black grandmother's house and look who's on the wall. Just look and you'll see John F. Kennedy's picture laying right next to Martin Luther King and Jesus. And that's only because John F. Kennedy got the loyalty of black people after he helped Martin Luther King get out of jail. And in return, Martin Luther King gifted Kennedy the black vote and all their support. Just think about it. All the civil rights leaders got together and decided Kennedy was the man. And the black community has been voting Democrat ever since. And Kennedy might have been genuine. However, it didn't help much because he was later taken out. And along came Lyndon B. Johnson and welfare and feminism and then the decline. You said bye to your businesses, you said bye to your self-respect, and you said bye to black fathers. You embraced liberalism and all the poison the Democrat Party had to offer, all the while turning your back on the very party that helped you gain your freedom. Could the Democrat Party be that burning house that Martin Luther King feared he let us in?
I think that was what he was talking about. But foundational black Americans created the culture not only in America, but around the world. We set the standards. That's right. And I think it's about that time that people recognize and realize that FBA, foundational black Americans, are the root and foundation of this country and culture. We've done so much good for this country, and we continue to innovate, create, and make this place better. As much as people try to downplay discredit and dismiss Black culture and Black people's contribution and achievements, it's good to know that there are people who know their history, pay homage, and respect to Black Americans. But that's all I got, guys. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.